Number 4, Iowa will host Indiana on Thursday, a game you can see on FS1. Very pleased to have the head coach of the Hawkeyes, Fran McCaffery, with us. Coach, you will have played at that point just once in 10 days. I want to start with this. How do you deal with kind of some of this uncertainty, particularly in terms of scheduling that surrounds you with the virus?
I think there's only one way to do that, Dave, and that is just play the next game that you can. You know, we played Sunday. You know, we played Northwestern. We didn't play the previous Thursday, and we won't play the following Sunday. But, you know, so far it's been about a week off in between each game. We know that it's going to come a time. There's going to come a time when we play maybe 4 games in 7 days, 3 and 6. Something like that. But, you know, we kind of talked about that. You go back to the meetings that we were having in the summertime through the fall. You know, are we going to play non-conference games? Are we going to play tournaments? Are we going to play just conference games? Are we going to play over Christmas? And we did that so that we would give ourselves some flexibility.
I don't think fans maybe totally understand, and I have the luxury, obviously, of announcing games too and talking to you guys and getting a sense of what teams are going through on a day-to-day basis. For fans who don't understand, aren't privy to that, give them a sense of like kind of day-to-day how the virus impacts your team.
Our players live a very unique life right now, and I think that's kind of what you're referring to.
Yes, that is what I'm referring to.
But at least they get up in the morning, they come and do a COVID test, we feed them, we'll have a film session or we'll shoot free throws or we'll do something. Maybe lift, and then we'll come back, we'll practice, we'll have more film, we'll feed them again. College life as we know it is not the same. You know, guys don't go out to eat, they don't go downtown, they don't go to parties. It's a real testament to their commitment to their craft. I feel very blessed that we have this kind of character in our locker room.
What about in the context of the craziness going on with the virus and just this idea of, hey, one slip up, particularly at the wrong time in March, and everything we've worked for comes crashing down? I mean, do you have to talk about it in that context?
We do. That we do, Dave. We talk about that, I would say, if not daily, every other day. Just reminders. Where are you going? Who are you with? Are you wearing a mask? Stay committed to what we want to accomplish as a team.
Let's dive into your team. It's fabulous. You are now number 1 in the nation in offensive efficiency. Honestly, Fran, as someone who loves basketball as much as I do, I kind of geek out sometimes watching you guys. I mean, offensively, it is like a work of art at times, how good it is. Let me ask you this. Sounds like a bit of a weird question, but are you at a point now where you don't add anything new? Are you just refining what you do and then kind of picking and choosing based on what your opponent's approach will be defensively, what you pull out on any given day? Or are you trying to add to what is the nation's best offense?
Real good question in the sense that, you know, now is sort of the time. I think that's, you know, kind of where your thought process is, where you might start to add. There's enough tape out there on us. We do tweak some things here and there. We'll add something periodically, but it's not as much as you would think. We focus more, Dave, on our next opponent. What do they do? What do we need to do to stop them? And what do we think we have in our package that will work against them?
What has been your favorite Luka Garza moment to this point? I will submit that for me, it was the Iowa State game and just how absurd it was. I mean, how utterly impossible it became to defend him in that game. He went 6 of 7 from 3 and, you know, was almost given the Jordan shrug. It was stunning. I mean, you looked at it and said, there's literally no way to guard this guy. So that's mine. What's yours?
Well, I think that's a good one, Dave, because, I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, after the game, somebody will say, hey, nice job, coach. It's like when I just sat there. You know, Luka took over. Those kids, the whole team was ready to go. You know, I think conversely, the Carolina game was one where, you know, I looked at him after the game and he was completely exhausted. He was drenched from head to toe. He had to work so hard in that game, and he was equally ecstatic that his numbers weren't the same maybe as they would be in another game, but we won the game, and that's all that mattered to him.
What's the challenge against the Hoosiers on Thursday night?
I really like their team. I mean, obviously everybody mentions Trace Jackson-Davis off the bat. He's a handful. Scores, rebounds, block shots. But I think they have a lot of other pieces, Dave, as you know. They run good stuff. Franklin's playing really well. Durham, Finney, I mean, some of the veteran guys, but some of the young guys. So they got a lot of weapons. I mean, they're a deep club. They're going to guard. They're going to compete. And we have to play well.
Coach, good luck. As always, pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for taking the time out.
Always a pleasure, Dave.